So, Bo, from a practice like today, they're throwing a lot of pressure, looks at you. What do you get out of that in terms of having to make those quick decisions?
Just kind of read and react and go with whatever you say and get back in the film room and watch it and learn from it.
Well, how eager are you for your first preseason reps, and what are you looking to get out of this season?
I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there and play against another defense and just go out there and execute.
How much more importance do you think should possibly be placed on these preseason games in the battle for the starting job versus all these practices out there? Is it equal? Is there more on the games or what?
I'd say they're all pretty important.
What do you feel like you need to showcase in order to win the starting job?
Just be consistent and be myself.
So how do you balance, I guess, taking shots with risk versus managing that risk to force?
Well, I think, hit them when they're open, make sure you get the right coverage for them, and usually sometimes the forcing comes when you don't get the right look, things like that. So just make sure you get the right look for them and the correct game plan play for the particular defense, and if not, just check it down and go to the next play.
Bo, what's it been like so far working with Corliss?
It's been really good. He's a very talented receiver, been in the league for a while, got a lot of experience. We got great dialect going back and forth, and so he does a good job of when he sees something, he tells me, and then I can do the same. So I feel, very comfortable when he's out there.
PJ Locke told us you were probably studying the safeties and kind of toying with the safeties, so were you toying with the safeties?
I hope every quarterback is, to be honest with you. That's kind of where you are at this stage, and you got to read and react to safeties, and sometimes you can use what they're doing against them.
Can you feel yourself more comfortable out there, like taking from the classroom as you just practice it? Can you feel like?
Yeah, I feel much better. It's starting to, be kind of second nature as far as play calling, getting in and out of the huddle and operation and that sort of thing.
Sean said he put the rookies all at the back of the depth chart, but before it came out, there was hubbub on social media, all that, and you listed at number 3. Did you kind of notice that commotion or anything like that?
Couldn't care less.
Okay. So is that generally on the depth chart? You don't care how you're listed at this point, I guess.
Couldn't care less.
Well, is there a conscious effort, like days you don't run with the ones, to still keep the same sort of, do you want to show them you have the same focus?
I better, or I'm not going to be running with the ones anymore. But yeah, every day you got to be consistent no matter what group you're going with. Go out there and do your best and make sure you're operating at a high level.
I guess, have they ever said, like, you got to lead all the time type of thing?
Yeah, no matter if you're in the cafeteria or if you're in the training room, quarterback's job is to be a leader at all times and get everybody going in the right direction. And so it starts off the field, and when you get on the field, making sure your operation, your huddle, whatever group you're going with looks the best.
Well, what's been your impression of Luke Wattenberg as you've gotten to know him, work with the Washington guy there under center?
Yeah, really smart, very athletic up front. All those guys are doing a great job at center right now, and Luke's done a good job of taking what he's really good at it and just kind of maximizing what he's got. And very athletic. He's impressive, getting off the linebackers and making calls and all that sort of thing. But really excited and looking forward to even getting to know him more and more. The more we get to practice and play together.
When it comes to leadership, like you mentioned, the cafeteria, the weight room, is that something where you always consciously be thinking about it, or is it just something that flows naturally from you?
That's a great question. I think, how you do anything is how you do everything. So it's kind of an all-the-time thing. You have a lot of responsibility, and you got to act accordingly. And so, in my position, the other quarterbacks, we all kind of carry ourselves with that leadership role on a day-to-day basis, no matter where we are.
Well, I imagine you've been a starting quarterback most of your life. I guess, when did you start playing, and were you the starter from day one? And how many full seasons have you not been a starter before that?
I started playing football in the 7th grade, played middle school in 8th grade that year, and then 8th grade I was the backup on varsity and the JV quarterback, and then midway through the year started playing on varsity, and then 9th grade on to now, I guess I've started every game I've been in.
After your 3rd year at Auburn, did you think about coming out?
Yeah, there's always that factor and there's always that buzz, but I felt like I could contribute more and, have a higher grade than what I was projected at the time. And, we decided to get a fresh start, and it worked out well.
But you're into your 13th practice today in this training camp. Has the speed of the game slowed down at all, or is there so much installing going on still that you're basically with your head on a square?
I think the game has started to slow down a little bit. I've started to feel, very comfortable with the base install, and there's a lot more plays that I'm comfortable with than not. So that definitely helps. And then the more I see on defense, the better it's going to get for me, I think, moving forward.
Let's do Susie and James, please.
Couple weeks into this now, how different is NFL camp compared to where you were with college? You're not going to school, but you're still studying.
Yeah, that's a great question. Mentally, it's if not the same, it's tougher. There's a lot, mentally and physically. Practice is similar, but less guys. So you take a little bit more time in between reps, so you get your full recovery, and then it's fairly similar. I think in college sometimes they try to duplicate what they do in the league just to kind of because that's the thing to do. And so I think it prepares you well, but there's just an element of the NFL that kind of makes it more challenging.
But with that, the expectations that this league has, and camp in particular, I'm sure you're probably noticing everybody's critiquing every throw, breaking. How do you handle expectations, because they're huge here? How do you compartmentalize that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, one is not looking at it, not seeing what everybody says, and not trying to go out there and find it. And at the end of the day, nobody has a higher expectation than myself. Nobody has a higher standard for how I play than me. So I think that's just kind of the most important thing is you're not falling back on those that we're just seeing parts of it. You're truly, internally challenging yourself and trying to be the best that you can be. And most of the time, they can see a throw and they may know about 25% of what actually was going in that throw. So I don't necessarily want to put too much into the outside noise and just continue to play my game. And I think I learned along the way you're going to miss one often, and so you just got to move on, and I feel like I've been better at moving on and just not letting it bother me and affect the next play.